Now, what we do here, we assume the statement we want to prove is false. Show that this assumption leads to mathematical nonsense. Conclude that we were wrong to assume the statement is false. So therefore conclude the statement must be true. Okay? So if we look at this example, use a proof by contradiction to prove 5n plus 3 is odd. Make this correction. Then n is even. Not the n is even. Okay? So our contradiction here is going to be 5n plus 3 is odd, but n is also odd. Okay, so we've gone that we know 5n plus 3 is odd, but instead of saying that n is even, we're going the opposite, going n is also odd. So then n has to equal 2k plus 1 for some integer k. So you should be seeing that that's common now. So now what's 5n plus 3? We're going to plug in this 2k plus 1 for our n. So that's going to be 5 lots of 2k plus 1 plus 3, which is 10k plus 5 plus 3, which is 10k plus 8. We can bring out a factor of 2, which is 5k plus 4. So this is a multiple of 2. So therefore, even. Okay, so as 5k plus 4 must be an integer, it follows that 5n plus 3 is even if n is odd, because that's what we started off with. We started by saying 5n plus 3 is odd. Okay? So, does that make sense? Okay, it doesn't, does it? It says it follows that 5n plus 3 is even if n is odd. That doesn't make sense. So, but this is a contradiction. As the number 5n plus 3 is odd. We started off by saying it was odd, but now we're going 5n plus 3 is even if n is odd. So they're contradicting each other. Okay? And a number cannot be both even and odd. Therefore, the number n cannot be odd, so it must be even. Okay, so we started with that contradiction. 5n plus 3 is odd, but n is also odd. We went through and showed that 5n plus 3 is even. 5n plus 3 can't be both even and odd, so that's a contradiction. So therefore the number cannot be odd, it has to be even. Let's look at another example. An angle is called reflex if it exceeds 180 degrees. Prove that no quadrilateral has more than one reflex. Okay, so let's look at the contradiction of that. If there is more than one reflex angle, so the contradiction, there is more than one reflex angle. So our angle sum, if that's the case, is going to be greater than 2 lots of 180 degrees if we've got more than one reflex angle, which means it has to be greater than 360 degrees. But the angle sum of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So this contradicts the fact that the angle sum of a quadrilateral can't spell is 360 degrees. So therefore a quadrilateral can't have more than one reflex angle. Okay, let's look at the next one. A Pythagorean triple consists of 3 natural numbers, a, b, c, satisfying a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Show that if a, b, c is a Pythagorean triple, then a, b, c cannot all be odd numbers. Okay, so let's start. Let a, b, c be a Pythagorean triple. So therefore c squared has to equal a squared plus b squared. Now it's saying a, b, c cannot all be odd numbers. So let's go the opposite of that. Suppose that a, b, c are odd numbers. Okay, so instead of going cannot all be odd numbers, we're going to go they are odd numbers. So a squared, b squared, c squared must be odd numbers. A squared plus b squared must be even. And c squared is odd. Now, since a squared plus b squared equals c squared, this is a contradiction. Because what we just said is a squared plus b squared must be even, but that c squared has to be odd. Even can't be, you can't have something that's even on at the same time. So therefore, a, b, c cannot all be odd numbers.